lot of snow and ice on the roadway. We're seeing it all the way into like Texas and Oklahoma, and the results of that have been really dangerous. Actually, there's been 5 deaths just in Texas here in 2021. This is unusual, but it happens all around the country. We even see frozen roadways as far south as Florida. This is not typical. Remember, most of the people that learned how to drive were taught to pass the test. They weren't taught what to carry in their car, how to drive in bad situations. But I want to start off by showing you some of the really dangerous accidents that we've seen this year. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. We do a lot more here than give you great tips and advice. We give you car smarts, we give car reviews, and a lot of great information. Make sure to subscribe and click that little bell so you don't miss anything, and check out some of these really bad winter driving accidents this year. Here are some basic driving tips. First thing is obvious. Give yourself distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. Double that distance from what you usually do on dry pavement. Number 2, remember stopping is going to take twice as long, especially if there's ice. There is no traction no matter what you're driving on ice. Whether you have snow tires, all-season tires, all-wheel drive, 4x4, ice has no traction, so you have to give yourself a ton of distance. A tip for that is if it's really icy and you do have to go out, put those 2 tires on the edge of the road onto the edge of the road, into the gravel or onto the snow. That'll help give you a little bit of traction, but the truth is, if you don't have to go out, stay home. The third driving tip, and they never teach this in driver's ed, is that when you see an accident, your natural reaction is to slam on the brakes. You don't want to stop the situation from happening. But the secret to getting away from these type of accidents is slowly use the gas and steer out of the way. Remember, first you have anti-lock brakes, which gives you the ability to brake and steer. Unlike the older cars where you lock up the brakes and you slide, this will give you that pulsation on the pedal. But know that you're not going to be able to stop if the accident is right in front of you. You want to avoid that accident. So if you're going into the oncoming lane, look to see what's coming, keep your eyes up and as far ahead as you can to try and determine whether that's the smartest place to go. Sometimes it might even be turning into a driveway or a parking lot last second just to get away from that situation. I would drive on the grass before I would drive into another accident, and I assume you would do the same thing because that's common sense. And that's kind of what you need to have when it comes to driving. Ice storms can be really dangerous and deadly. My friend Jim Cantore from the Weather Channel explains.
Listen, the cold air is so dense, it remains locked in place. The warm air has to go up and over that cold air, and the rain doesn't have time to refreeze into sleet pellets. So now we have to deal with accumulating ice. Just 1/10 of an inch makes roads and sidewalks extremely slippery. 1/4 of an inch can break branches and cause spotty power outages. And once you're over 1/2 inch, serious problems ensue. Ice storms can cause billions of dollars in damage. They can hit ground transportation, aviation, and power sectors really hard. What the heck is that? You gotta be kidding me, a bus? I obviously spoke too soon. This is not gonna end well. Look, the bus is already starting to slide. Look at that. 150,000 plus accidents per year. It doesn't matter if you're in a heavy bus or a 4-wheel drive. You're gonna slide on the ice. 40,000 people get injured on average. And you know what? I hope this bus stops. 500 people lose their lives. That's 500 too many. You know what? It's a good thing that there are no passengers on this bus. You don't ever want to be on the road in these conditions. You're putting yourself and others at risk. Stay at home and be ready to deal with an extended time without power because the crews are not going to be able to get to until the ice storm is stopped. I've had enough of this. Stay safe. I'm out of here.
Thanks, Jim. Here's some other things you need to know. Another tip is to have good polarized sunglasses to cut some of that glare from the snow because you lose all that definition of what's going on outside on the roadway in front of you. Remember that you need to carry some things with you. If it's cold outside, wear a hat. That's how you keep the heat inside your body, just like gloves. A good jacket. Now, if you're going to a business meeting, you're going someplace where that doesn't make sense for you, carry it with you just in case you need it. Put it behind the seat. If you've got a sedan and you put it in the trunk, you may not be able to access it, especially if you're in an accident or stuck on the side of the road. In an SUV like this one, it's pretty easy. Let's show you what's in my trunk so you can see what I carry with me every day. Besides an extra set of snow boots, because I never know what's going to happen here in Buffalo, I also carry an emergency kit, de-icer washer fluid. And what is that? That's when you hit the washer fluid and you see it clean up, but then it freezes. That's called refreeze. 80% of your driving decisions are based on visibility, so you want to carry that with you. You're going to go through a lot of it. And it's anything other than the blue. It can be yellow, it can be green, it can be pink, as long as it's not the blue stuff, because that is just alcohol and water. Also carry a flashlight, an emergency kit. The cold weather kills batteries, and if you don't know how to use jumper cables, get a jump box. They're not that expensive. You can get them any mass merchandiser. And if you don't know how to change a flat tire, same type of thing, get a tire inflation product that has a compressor in it, because that way you're not just sealing the hole, you're actually filling it in a backup with air. And a lot of people don't think about that. If you just have the can, it's not going to get you to what you need. Carry extra paper towel, glass cleaner, and then I always recommend carrying hand warmers and foot warmers. At least 2 for every person. Keep them in your glove box. If they've been there for a few years, they may have expired. People don't even look at that stuff until they need them, and then they don't work. Instead of using a striking flare, I carry 3 of these flare alerts. They're magnetic, and the nice thing about them is you can drive over them, they don't break, they're good for a long time, they're battery powered, and they're LEDs. So you can see them, you can put them on the roof of the car if you're stuck somewhere, you can open up your window, put them on the door, and they're great because they're striking flares. A truck goes by, and they end up in a ditch. So this is a great thing to carry in every car. All of my vehicles, everything in this garage has 3 of these in the vehicle. If you're really worried about getting stuck and you're in the upper half of the country, I carry a shovel that's a multi-purpose tool. It's a good thing to have. It comes in a bag. It just makes a lot of sense to be prepared because who knows what's going to happen. You should have a snow brush with you and a good ice scraper. Now, if you don't have an ice scraper, you can use a credit card. It does the same thing. You use a broom to sweep off your car. But be prepared. Have that stuff with you because you don't want to come out from the shopping center or work or wherever you are and find your car completely covered with snow and ice because you're not going to be able to drive. And remember, if you clean those little portholes off just so you can see, but you don't care about the people around you and all the snow ends up on their car, you're going to get a ticket. They're ticketing for that now because it is obstruction of your vision, and it's also dangerous to the people around you while all that snow and ice ends up on their car, and you're going to be the one that's going to pay the price. One last tip, if you get stuck in the snow and you think, I'm not going to be able to get this vehicle out, see if you can clean out the tailpipe, because the tailpipe right here is the problem. If you have the car running every 5 minutes, you're going to create carbon monoxide poisoning, and you could end up dying in your own vehicle waiting for help. If you have any additional questions about driving or where to get all this stuff, I'll put it in the description down below. You can also ask your questions in the comments. I will be happy to answer them. I want you to be safe on the road. Think Driver's Ed 101. They don't teach you these things. They only teach you how to pass the test. And that's why we like to give you car smarts. If you got value from this video, make sure to like and share it with your friends. We want everyone to have car smarts and be safer on the road. And don't forget to check out our podcast. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. It's called Total Car Score. It's on all platforms. And if you're still looking for more tips and you've got a new driver, check out my book, Lauren Fix's Guide to Loving Your Car. There's a lot of stuff in there that you're not going to learn anywhere else. Check it out on our website as well. Car Coach reports in English and Spanish. Got a lot of new contributors, and we'd love to have you join us and subscribe for that newsletter. We'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much for watching.
You all right?